Meeting to order for Tuesday, February 17th. A beautiful spring day in Whatcom County. My gosh, you would think it was summer. We had I opened the public meeting, closed it right away, and we recessed to executive session to go over a legal matter. And I will now close the executive session, reopen the public meeting. And we have a substitute executive secretary today. Lindsay Brewmeister is our sitting in for Diane. We like to cross-train as much as we can here at the port, and this is one of the things we're doing today. The first order of business is to roll call, and as you can see, we're missing one commissioner. Two commissioners are present. Commissioners Jorgensen and Robbins. McCauley is absent. And the first order of business is public comment. Was there anyone that signed up for public comment?
There's no public comment today.
Thank you, Lindsay. With no public comment at all, anyone didn't sign up that wants to make any comments? Very good. Hearing none, we'll move to our first presentation, which is, Lindsay, if you'd like to, or I'll go ahead. It's our first update is Western Washington University Small Business Development Center summary. And
yes, indeed. Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm here to introduce the Small Business Development Center, and CJ Seitz, who is the Interim Executive Director, will be giving an update today about 2014 and what's been going on so far in 2015. As part of, we help fund them through the Tri-Funders Agreement with the county and the City of Bellingham. So with that, here's CJ Seitz.
Thank you. Welcome, CJ.
Hi, thank you. Let's get started here. So thank you for the opportunity to be here today to talk with you about the SBDC and about our 2014 outcomes. As John mentioned, I'm the interim director. My name is CJ Seitz, and I had the opportunity to be with the Small Business Development Center from 05 to 09, first as a graduate assistant and then as a certified business advisor. And I got to see the quality of work that comes out of the center, and the businesses thrive and lives change from the work that is done there. So when I learned that there was an interim position, I was really excited and proud to rejoin this team. So with me here today is the entire SBDC team. I thought I'd introduce them to you. Eric Grimstead is a certified business advisor. Deborah Lee, certified business advisor. Haley Halverson is our program assistant, and she's the one who takes all the incoming calls and triages them and gets them to the right place, and she does a great job with that, along with compiling the reports that we report on quarterly. We appreciate her a lot. And our graduate students is April Arnold and Alex Sayani, and they work on our research and marketing. And before I get started, I think it's important to recognize that this work in 2014 was led by Jennifer Shelton, who was a great leader for the SBDC for 4.5 years, and I'm really grateful for her work. So the SBDC is a cooperative effort. It's a 34-year-old federal program that's governed by the Small Business Administration. Every state needs to have a lead office, and our lead office in Washington State is Washington State University out of Spokane, and they coordinate our activities. And then the collaboration really comes together at the local level, as you know, and that's where the higher education and government come together to really focus on small business. And our host institution, as you know, is Western Washington University, and our local funders are the Tri-Funders, the Port, thank you, and the city, and Whatcom County. This year is our 30th year of being in Whatcom County. So our core mission is to improve profitability and thereby enhancing economic growth. Our efforts stabilize businesses, grow them, help them get started viably, and help them make good decisions. So we help keep businesses in Whatcom County. And we do this by offering one-on-one, in-depth counseling to businesses, along with research and with technical assistance. All of the certified business advisors are required to have either former ownership or leadership experience. Most of them are MBA'd, and they're required to be certified by the state, which is governed by a board, and it is looked to as a national best practice. So not only do you get this fabulous team, but there's a team of advisors behind us. So we have 34 advisors in 23 different centers across Washington. And we work together on a daily basis with these folks. We have a listserv, and we actually do co-counseling in person and on Skype. And some of these advisors, for example, are former leaders of Fortune 500 companies. We have a commercial leasing expert. We have a CPA, to name a few. And so Whatcom County gets to enjoy that expertise also. And our program has some pretty stringent program standards. We have to adhere to confidentiality and a code of ethics. New for the program since I left in 2009 is that our clients must verify all the results that we're reporting to the SBA. We have a national accreditation, so every 4 years each state goes through a national accreditation process. And the SBA audits every office in person every other year. And there's a survey that's put out by an independent party, Dr. Chrisman at a Mississippi State University, and they survey former SBDC clients for quality and on their reported impacts, and also what the economic development impacts are from the SBDC. I'll talk to you a little bit more about the results of that latest survey in a few minutes here. So we use a federal definition for small business, which is up to 500 employees, or for our construction companies, it's up to $27.5 million in sales annually. And what that means is that 98% of Whatcom County businesses fit this definition, and they can avail themselves of our services. And so some of the services that we have available are financial forecasting, financial analysis. We do loan proposal packaging, marketing assessments, feasibility for new businesses, technology assessments, and some HR coaching, to name a few. The SBDC has strong research capabilities. Available to our advisors, we have a national repository of sorts of research that's been conducted, and industry reports, sample business plans, benchmarking data, that sort of stuff. We also have a group of MBA students that's hosted in Spokane at WSU, and they are there to dedicate their services just to SBDC clients, and they're focusing mainly on exports. But best of all, we have our in-house research team. So we have an MBA, two-year MBA student who gets the opportunity to work one-on-one with our clients and to hear their needs, and so he or she can tailor the research directly for them. So they get this real-life experience, and then we're also connecting all these resources at Western Washington University directly with our businesses. I got to do that when I was in grad school, and I think I got better experience doing that than I might have in grad school. It was fabulous. And so, for example, April Arnold is our current second-year MBA student. She's working on a research project for a local business who is looking to buy a local person who's looking to buy a local business. And she's doing a feasibility study on that. Can they service the debt and be viable? And so she's doing a market saturation, she's doing demographic analysis, and some financial benchmarking with the financials that they have. So let's talk about the 2014 deliverables. In 2014, the Whatcom County SBDC was able to work with 766 individual businesses. 363 of those businesses came on to, were counseled, so they received in-depth counseling services. The remainder of that number was they either went to a training or they received referrals or just resources that we had available to them. We provided over 2,400 counseling hours, over 800 research hours, and 30 trainings. Excuse me. So as you know, we categorize our clients into 3 different categories. The first one is expansion, so clients that are either just growing or they're entering a new market or entering into a new product line. Our retention clients are the clients that are either still working up to their sales goals or they're going through some sort of transition. And then, of course, startup. So you'll see from 2012 to 2013, there was a pretty good jump in startup clients. And we saw that trend nationally also. And then you'll see that number also reflected in our 2014 mix. We saw more retention clients in 2014. And that's because we work really, really heavily with those startup clients and nurture them through that first year because it's so critical for them. And then in 2014, again, we're seeing more startup clients. We helped 17 clients start new businesses successfully. We helped a number of them go through feasibility and decide not to start a business. And then an additional of them are still working on their business plan and working on getting bankable. So most of our clients, obviously we're seeking startup services or acquisition services, marketing, sources of capital, financial analysis and cost control, and HR mentoring. We track all of the inquiries, all the phone calls that come in, and do some analysis for services and such. And 4% of our incoming calls were for businesses that were looking to relocate to Whatcom County. And as you know, Whatcom County, the port takes the lead on all inbound businesses as our ADO. And so that's an immediate phone call to John or to Dodd. And I got to see firsthand 2 weeks ago how it's working. And we had an inbound technology company walk into the SBDC looking to relocate. And I telephoned John, and we set up a meeting and to assess their needs. And so now John's working with them on their real estate issues and connecting them with workforce. And I'm working on them with cash flow projections and getting ready for some financing. So it was really great to see that process live. So how do we know that all of this work is successful? Well, the SBA looks at 3 different measurements. One of them is retention, job retention, and job creation. The next one is sales and capital formation is the third one. So as you recall from the beginning of my talk, I was talking about these are all client verified. So this is what we believe not a total of our impacts, but these are the impacts that our clients were able to verify back with us. In 2014, 78 jobs were created and 31 jobs were retained from direct efforts from the SBDC. SBDC clients represent over 2,500 jobs in the county. Annual sales, this again we thought was a fairly underreported number. We thought it's about 50%, so it's at $88 million for our clients, and they reported an average sales increase of 14%. And for capital formation, the SBDC efforts helped bring in nearly $4 million of capital into the community last year. So these are the results of what we call the Chrisman survey. So that's Dr. Chrisman from Mississippi State University. And he found that on average, SBDC clients enjoyed a 10.5% increase in sales, while Washington businesses at the same time enjoyed about a 5% growth in sales. Also in 2013, change in employment for SBDC clients was at 16.6%, while the rest of Washington was at about 2.2%. So we know the SBDC works. And before I close, I have a video I wanted to show you all of a client of ours and a port tenant. But I wanted to share with you an observation of mine. I was with the SBDC and involved in the economic development community for several years up until 2009. And then I've been seated for about a month into my position. And in that time, I've had the opportunity to go to meet with other providers to get updated, meet their leadership, find out what they're doing. And the change in the community between '09 and now is remarkable to me. They're collaborating, they're aware of each other's resources, and it's truly a joy to be working in this community, and I appreciate all the effort that must have went into getting us where we are today. So thank you. So before I show the video, does anybody have any questions?
I was going to ask, Spokane, you said you had a group of advisors. Is that kind of filter out from WSU, or is that pretty much within Spokane, or how's that?
So in Spokane, our lead office is there, and they're affiliated with Washington State University. And in Spokane, we do have 2 business advisors, but we also have a team from Washington State University of researchers, and these are the MBA students, and they service the whole state of SBDC clients. Does that answer your question?
It does.
Great.
CJ, I really appreciate the partnership between Western, the county, and the port. Do you folks have anything to do with Business Week at Western? That's a wonderful organization up there. I've gone up and been a judge at Business Week. Does the SBDC participate at all other than maybe being a judge?
You know, I don't know the answer to that one, but I'm going to see if any of my colleagues do. Eric, do you?
We have participated in the startup weeks in the past. So this year we took a little bit less of a role than the year prior, just due to some of the changes that we're experiencing. Normally I can project pretty well. So yes, we have in the past and look forward to doing so in the future.
That's just a great organization. They take high school kids and they put them on campus at Western. It fills our dorms, the dorms at Western that are vacant, plus it brings, I don't know, 300 or 400 kids into the community, and they do it at all the universities around. And I've been a judge up there, and it's a wonderful organization.
Great.
But welcome aboard, and thanks
you.
for your hard work.
Thank you. Let me just.
Quick question for you, if I can.
Oh, yes.
Oops. You mentioned 4% of the calls coming in were about locating in Whatcom County.
Yes.
The SBDC doesn't do anything to actively recruit those calls, so those are just 4% cold coming off the street.
That's right.
Okay, I think that's important to note because that's a high number for just figuring out you guys are the place to call without any kind of advertisement. And then you said $88 million was the revenue number associated with the SBDC clients, but that did not include all companies. Do you estimate the revenue for the companies that don't report it, or is that 88 just what was reported to you?
So the 88 is a number that was able to get verified, and I don't have an estimation, but I'm certainly willing to get those numbers for you and follow up.
Because likely quite a bit higher than if only 50% are reporting, correct?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Any other comments? Well, thank you. We'll see the video.
Video. Okay.
I originally heard about the Small Business Development Center from a friend, probably back in, I'm guessing 2008. I've been in the business for a couple years. We had a couple good years, and things started to level out. I'm going, man, where am I going with this? What am I going to do? I just needed someone else to kind of say, hey, actually, it's on the right track. You're doing all right. Just stay the course. And more recently, we're in need of a kind of SBA loan, having a tough time getting that lined up. Connected us with the bank and kind of helped us get through that process to get the SBA loan. So both from a kind of strategic consulting, kind of business analysis side, and with the tangible things of helping us line up financing, it's been a valuable resource. We're here at our shop in Bellingham. From here, we basically run our whole business. We do all the administration, sales, marketing, product development here, plus we handle all the accessories and components for our boats. So those all come in here. If they require assembly, they get assembled. Then we ship them out to our factory, and all the accessories for our boats go to the stores that sell our boats. A couple things that most businesses have to gain is, one, just someone that has a lot of experience. People that have Small Business Development Center have the experience, have been through, have seen a lot of things firsthand for themselves they've been involved in, but also talking to a lot of other companies. So they kind of have just a real broad perspective, and that's really valuable. And then also on the other side is kind of the connections and resources they have to offer. For us, one of the big things is line up financing, a lot of industry reports or analysis, and there's a lot of international stuff they do. So it's just good resources there for a lot of different situations. For a business owner, if you're thinking, man, should I do it? You probably should just go do it because you have nothing to lose. And most likely there's a lot to gain.
Thank you.
Thank you, CJ. I might also add, I volunteer as a SCORE counselor, and we appreciate the working relationship we have with the SBDC and SCORE.
Absolutely, we do too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have kind of a short agenda today, so we don't have a consent agenda. We put it all in action items. So our first action item under administration, Lindsay, would you like to?
A motion to approve the minutes of the Port of Bellingham Commission meeting held Tuesday, February 3, 2015.
Any corrections or additions to the minutes?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Show there were 2 for and 1 absent. The second item, if you would, please, Lindsay.
A motion to authorize the executive director to approve and sign a change order with the Resource Group to upgrade recently installed management software and to implement a customization of the maintenance management software package for an estimated cost of $39,444, billed on a time and material basis, and increase the capital budget by the same amount.
This is a two-part request we have. The first part is to upgrade the system. When we began the conversion last summer, only 2 of the 3 modules had upgraded versions. So since it's an all or nothing with an integrated system, we moved forward with the then current versions. Hindsight being what it is, we discovered the newest version of the work order system has a functionality that's really huge for us. It's called Customer Connect, and that allows staff to electronically request a work order of the maintenance department. Today, all work order requests are sent to the maintenance admin staff, and those staff members input the work order into the work order system. So with an average of about 900 work orders per month, this is a huge time saver, really huge. There are other enhancements and bug fixes with the upgrade, but this is by far the most important. The second part of this request is the customization. And generally, we want to use software as it comes out of the box. But out of the box, the work order system allows only a one-to-one cost relationship. So what this means is if there's a hole in this wall in this building, we put in a work order, fix the hole, and we cost it to this building. The problem is with the preventative maintenance work orders. So for example, a work order will be to inspect and recharge all of the fire extinguishers port-wide. So you have one work order, inspect and recharge all the fire extinguishers, but we want to cost them to all the divisions to have a true cost of each division. So what this customization does is it allows one work order to share costs over multiple divisions. Combined, if we go forward with this customization, those preventative maintenance work orders will be about 60 per year. If we were to put in the one-to-one, it would be about 3,000 work orders per year. So this, too, is a huge time saver. So we're asking the commission to authorize this change order and to increase the capital budget by the same amount.
900 a month? Thought I heard that right.
You did hear that right.
This additional $40,000 cost was not in the original package?
That's right. We didn't anticipate an upgrade so soon after implementation.
Any other questions, Commissioner? I have none as well. So hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 2 for, 1 absent.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. The next item is under Planning and Economic Development. Lindsay, would you like to read the action item?
A commission motion authorizing the executive director to sign an economic development Investment, EDI program, interlocal loan and grant agreement with Whatcom County for the C Street Terminal Upland Infrastructure Rehabilitation Project, the C Street Project.
Thank you, Lindsay, Commissioners. This is a piece of the funding mix for that project.
Doug, could you introduce yourself
sorry,
for the
that's
folks
not,
out in TV
that's
land
not your
here?
S-Port staff. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
The EDI program is a program managed by Whatcom County. It's a rebate on the state sales tax to a rural county. We're defined as a rural county based on persons per square mile. So it's a pretty good program. It builds up an account, and the funds are used for public infrastructure improvements for economic activity. We've used this program before successfully. I like to think the port's been a good steward and user of this program. So we were eligible to apply to the EDI program based on the existing maritime trades on C Street and Colony Wharf and the subtenants. So we were authorized by the Commission to apply back in 2013 as we're moving the project forward. The board approved it. The county council unanimously approved awarding the funds. At this point, with things in place, with agreements and permits, we're ready to execute an interlocal agreement with Whatcom County for use of the funds. And the funding award is a total of $3 million, a $1 million grant, which we get first, and then a $2 million loan repaid at 1% over 7 years. So it's a pretty attractive finance package to support the project.
Commissioner Jorgensen, do you have any questions?
Not really. No, I don't.
The interest on
Great plan.
interest on $2 million at 1% over 7 years is $80,000.
Correct. That's my math.
I don't have any further questions.
No, I do not.
Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
2-0, 1 absent. Thank you. As I said, this would be a short meeting. Do you have anything under new business, Commissioner?
Well, let me get my book out here. No, I don't, sir.
I have two things. One, I've gotten a lot of constituents that have called and wanted to know, we have these container ships sitting out in our bay. Why aren't we unloading them? Why, if Seattle can't handle it, Bellingham's got a big shipping terminal that's empty. Why aren't we unloading those ships? And I've told anyone who's called or written me, I've gotten back with, but if Dan Stahl, our maritime director, could go over the reasons why those ships are there and why we're not unloading them, I think the general public might appreciate knowing that.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioners. Again, Dan Stahl, Maritime Director. They are awful pretty sitting out in the bay, aren't they? It's a little bit tantalizing for us knowing that we have unused capacity at the shipping terminal and to see those fully laden vessels anchored out in the bay. The reason that they're there is because of a contract dispute between the longshoremen and their employers that have really backed up the supply chain. So the vessels are not getting unloaded as quickly as they have in the past. So the terminals become congested, and as the new vessels come in, they end up going to Anchorage. And so the vessels that you see out there today, that's exactly their plight, is that they arrived on time from either the Mediterranean or from Asia and were sent to an Anchorage out there awaiting a berth availability in Seattle or Tacoma. They're all fully cellular container vessels that are on long-term contracts down in either Seattle or Tacoma. And the average of those terminal sizes is probably about 200 acres. So even if we took the entire shipping terminal and all of the GP property and turned that into a container terminal, it wouldn't be big enough. These are truly massive vessels. One of the vessels out there is called the Hyundai Courage. She's over 1,000 feet long, and her deep draft is 40 feet. So we've got 28 feet of draft at berth 2 at the shipping terminal, and no rail spur. So we really are not in a position to kind of handle that business on a spot basis. So we can admire them out in the bay, but I think we'll chase something a little more our size. Any questions?
Thank you.
Blaine could handle part of it.
Well, thank you very much, Dan. A lot of people have asked that question.
Yeah, you're welcome. And there's a great website that people can Google if they want to look at those. You can go either marine traffic or AIS traffic, and it will take you to a website that you can look at Bellingham Bay, and you put your cursor over the vessel, and it will tell you a history of how old the vessel is, how big it is, where it's going. So if people are curious, that's an easy way for them to just get some up-to-date information.
Thank you very much. The only other reminder I had was Thursday, this Thursday, the 19th, is our annual staff recognition lunch. And our guest speaker is the daughter of Joe Rancid. There was the book, The Boys in the Boat, about the University of Washington when they won the Olympics in rowing. And the whole book was about these 8 gentlemen and their lives. I found it very fascinating. I finished it this weekend. I look forward to meeting Joe's daughter, Judy, and she will be our guest speaker at that affair, so make sure anyone that can attend does attend. Interesting book. If you haven't read it, a very good read.
I'm in the process. I've read 35 pages so far.
There we go. Anything else for the good of the order from anyone? Commissioner Jorgensen?
I have nothing.
Well, I move we close the commission meeting. Thank you.
That's pretty close to a record.